Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first ever episode of the Strive to Thrive podcast. I'm your host and founder, Chase Hillier, and across from me is
Tyson Shepard, founder of Walking Buffalo and the co-host of the Strive to Thrive podcast.
Today we are doing our first podcast here, just getting people acquainted with ourselves and our backgrounds. We're going to do some insightful Q&A, and then the reason why we decided to start this podcast and a look ahead as to what is going to be included in episodes in the future. We'll talk about some things, and then we'll be doing our giveaway at the very end. So stay tuned for that. Tyson, you want to tell me a bit about yourself and how you ended up here?
Absolutely. A little bit about myself. I'm Indigenous, Ukrainian on my mom's side, father's side Indigenous. I've always been passionate about business. I've always been passionate about hockey, sports, helping other people out, trying to create a way for them as well as much as I am. I love sharing about my stories. I love sharing about my past and using that to my advantage to create engagement with other people and empowering them. I will also be talking about my time in prison, Regina Correctional Center, as well as how I got my grade 12 in there and the motivation factors that led me to graduating, etc. So let me break that down. To be honest with you guys, I wasn't doing the best in life, and I was trying to find a way to make money, to make ends meet, and just, simply provide for myself and the people that I was with at the time. And I definitely feel a lot of regret for what I did. It's definitely not the best quality to have as a person. Now that I've went public with my accusations, which are true, I feel so much better about myself. The weight on my shoulders are completely removed. I would also say I did 7 months in custody. I was looking at 5 years federal custody time. And during my time, I was praying in my cell. I had a cellie. We'd play cards all the time. I was trying to empower him and tell him to get his life right in there as well. And one day I prayed and I was like, I really need to go to school. I really need to do something here. And the teacher came into the unit and came in and asked me personally, she's like, Tyson, would you like to do your school? And, I looked up to the sky and I said, thank you, because it's a great opportunity for me to succeed. So I absolutely said yes, and it was definitely one of the best decisions I've ever made, because now I got out of jail. I'm in university. I'm doing a lot of things that are great, especially with my business partner here, Chase. It's going to be really great here, our journey. So I appreciate you guys for following along, and I'm going to pass this on to Chase.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna flip it right back to you. I wanted just to touch on a few things. Did you receive any pushback from the other inmates when you were going in and taking your school seriously? I know, some people can be a little bit of dicks about that and whatnot. Did you receive any pushback?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of pushback that led me a few times to believe that I shouldn't do it, right? Like thinking about it, just trying to fit in there and, trying to survive, right? That's the main key. But no, I kept on praying. I kept on being strong, and I just take away that pushback that they were giving me, and I just laugh in their face.
Is it safe to say that, nobody wants to see anybody succeed in there? Like crabs in a bucket, in a sense, where pulling each other down?
I wouldn't say that necessarily, because I did have people come up to me and ask me personally, if they can help or
That's
if I
amazing.
can help. Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing.
Absolutely. So it definitely felt good doing it, because now that I did it, other people are motivated to do it as well.
Yeah.
Right? So, and the teacher told me, out of 3 degrees that she did in English,
Yeah.
she was like, wow, Tyson, you make me mad just seeing your work, because it's so good, right? So,
That's quite an accomplishment.
Exactly. So I also do have a question for you, Chase.
Yeah, what's up?
So during your time in Regina, how do you think you felt growing up here?
So growing up here, I was born here in 2000. I'm the oldest of 5 kids. I got 2 little sisters, 2 younger brothers. I took my parents' divorce really hard when I was a kid, and I acted out because of it. And because of that, I moved a whole bunch of different schools. I moved probably 6 schools in between kindergarten and grade 8.
Mm-hmm.
And it was It was tough, but it definitely taught me how to talk to people, how to be able to walk up to a crowd of people and just strike up a conversation. I don't have any social anxiety about any of that kind of stuff, but it was good. It was good. My mom always, her parents and my dad's parents always strive to make sure that me and my sister, at the time she was the only one alive, that both of us had a really good upbringing. And there's not much I can say on a trauma stance on my upbringing. How about you? How was your upbringing in Moose Jaw? You said you lived, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, my upbringing in Moose Jaw was, it was great, I'd say. I had great friends, a great role model as a mother. I didn't have a father growing up, but I did have stepfathers, which I wouldn't include as fathers. Anyways, to stay on topic, during my upbringing in Moose Jaw, I was definitely active in sports. I played hockey, football, lacrosse, soccer, basketball, like you name it. Like I definitely was active during my...
That is something that we can share, is that, my mom always put me in every sport. I played soccer, basketball, football, everything. And I tried to play everything as a kid, because I even took up guitar for a little bit, just because I thought I was cool, and sat in my room and totally messed up all the strings by twisting all the things on the end of the guitar, but just being a stupid kid. But anyway, you were alluding to your childhood and playing sports and everything like that, so I cut you off.
No, it's no problem. So during my upbringing, my mom was my role model. Right? I looked up to her for everything. To this day, I still do. Yeah, I won't complain about my childhood. It was more or less my teenage delinquent years that I would complain about, because it definitely wasn't good. But during school, I was not very cultural in the Indigenous side of things. I would go to the gym. Once in a while, I did maybe a month of going to the gym, and then I just stopped because I started smoking weed around the age of 14. After that, it went all downhill until I hit 19, 20 years old. So to ask a question, actually, we're going to go a little bit off topic, and we're going to start introducing the podcast.
Sure, yeah.
So Chase, how did you come up with the name of the podcast?
So, Strive to Thrive podcast derives from just the thought and idea of me probably about last year, I want to say May or June, July, where I went through something, and it just really, it opened my eyes to the fact that, I got to do it on my own now, and I want to strive to do better. I want to grow up. I want to do better for myself. I want to get in shape, which is something that, we're going to be starting right away, is the fitness regimen. And I really just I'm striving to be a successful, well-rounded person. And, that's what it's all about, is every day just striving to be a better person, striving to help others, be compassionate, be empathetic. And that's where the Strive to Thrive comes from, is just every day we're just striving to get better. We're just striving to do better, to thrive, so that, we can lift others up as well. Yeah,
I agree with you.
Why did you want to get on the podcast with me?
Well, so let's talk about that topic. So the day he actually talked about it with me, I was definitely, as soon as he said, let's start a podcast, I definitely, no hesitation, I was like, yeah, let's do it. So, and I'm open to do anything, right? I'm opening to learn new things. So this is definitely an awesome learning experience, and this could be potentially big. So it creates a spark for us, and it creates a spark for the community, because that's what we need in the community, is people who want to take that extra step to help other people, especially youth, which is well needed. They don't have the
positive role models, right?
Yes, yeah.
Like, that's what we're really trying to do here, is just be a positive role model for young kids. I don't see a whole lot of positivity in there is people that are striving to thrive and succeeding, but I don't see many of them reaching back and reaching down to these kids, giving them a proverbial leg up, trying to help them and steer them away from the gangs and the drugs and everything. Because, I've had friends that are on the wrong side of it, so to speak, and there's no shame to them, but not every kid is meant for that. If we can stop a kid from becoming that when that's not who they are, and we can show them who they really are. That's what we're all about here.
100%.
Is just helping these kids navigate through areas where they feel like maybe their parents don't understand them. You know, like, you don't know what it's like to be my age and stuff like that. And I'll be 25 in June, and so like I can relate to kids maybe a little bit better than their parents can. And so if I can instill some good positive examples in their lives, that's what I'm here to do.
Awesome. And, you know, I will definitely agree with you on that. So let's talk about the expectations for the podcast. So what do you expect us to do, right, to create an impact?
So first, it starts with reaching our target audience. And that means getting it out there, getting people shared, you know, having people on this podcast in future episodes that can tell some of their side of their story. And, you know, I have a few people that would love to come on the podcast and just talk about the level in which they were involved and how they got out and how they got right with themselves and got it back on the right track, you know. And then after we can establish a good footing, I would like to go out to, you know, community centers or elementary schools and just talk with kids and show them that there is that support out there for them if they're looking for that, if they're looking for an outlet, you know, if they're looking for somebody to just go toss a football with and talk to and whatnot. That's really what I'm here for. If these kids are having problems, you know, I've been through a lot myself, so I definitely can relate to a lot of things that kids are going through nowadays. And if I can provide that positive role model to them, that's all I'm looking for out of this podcast.
Absolutely. And I'm going to go off of you from there. So why I think people should listen to us is Chase's reason as well. And that's a very big point that he made out, you know, talking to youth and going to schools and community centers, etc., because that's where the mainframe is, right? So if you can go to a community center or a school, right?
Yeah.
And you talk about empowering and you can show youth or adults, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's honestly open to anybody.
Exactly.
Just saying the youth because they have the most malleable minds. You know, sometimes we can be a little hard-headed as adults. And
absolutely. And during the time that we will be going there, you know, showing them the proof, right?
Yeah.
Not just talking to them, right? You know, walking the talk and, you know, actually doing what we're saying is definitely key to motivating them. And, you know, if we can show them that we've done great, like,
they can too.
Exactly. You know, anybody can be great. It's just how you put your mind to it, and, you know, it's about heart, right?
Yeah, it is.
So,
and integrity.
Exactly.
Do what you say what you do, mean what you say what you mean.
Exactly.
You know? You're going to do it. Don't say you're going to do it and then dip a toe in. No. Go full in.
Exactly. So let's go a little bit behind the scenes, starting with the podcast.
Sure, yeah.
What was the biggest challenge that you think we faced in launching a podcast, like starting it off?
Well, to be honest, this was just a whim idea for me. I didn't really think that it was going to take any traction. I didn't think that anybody was going to want to do anything with me. And who the hell wants to listen to me for an hour a week, you know? So when I floated it out there to you, it was kind of just like a idea, and you ran with it. You said that it was something that you would definitely want to do because it was out of your comfort zone, and you are looking to get out of your comfort zone and do some things.
Absolutely.
And, you know, like, the hardest part, I think, for us was just, you know, in our busy lives, scheduling brainstorming activities and scheduling a time where it both fit for us. You know, I work for SGI Monday to Friday, and then I work retail on the weekends, and so it's challenging. I'm taking a class too, so like it's challenging to find time in between all of that to do a podcast. But when I seen how eager and how gung-ho you were about starting this, I knew that it was something that we really needed to do, and if I could find the time, I would find the time for it, and I did, and here we are. We're just two guys sitting across the table from each other. A couple $50 microphones from Amazon.
Yeah, definitely a start.
So yeah, if anybody thinks that we're in this big luxurious studio,
no, we're not.
We're working off a laptop here with two
Exactly.
mics. So definitely starting from the bottom, but excited to see what this is going to bring. Because, you know, if we can get our viewership up and get it out there, you know, I think the sky's the limit for us. You know,
Absolutely.
the city, as big as it is, you know, it can it can start something, man. We can
Yeah,
start
it
a
can go
movement.
anywhere. Yeah. Basically, my biggest challenge is let's go off. It would be definitely a little nerve-wracking. I was definitely nervous in trying to start that because what Chase said, like who the hell wants to listen to me, right? Too. So it's definitely a challenge to go through some things. I definitely didn't get any negative feedback, only a couple times, but that's what comes with the business, right? So another challenge is definitely we don't have a big studio, right? We don't have a big studio to go off of. We go off of a mic, a plug-in on the computer with 2 USBs connected to the computer, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely a challenge for us, but we make it work, and it's going to be awesome to where this journey takes us. And I appreciate you guys listening every step of the way. So Chase, now that I'm asking all the questions, let's hear what you have to say for yourself.
All right, well, I got a few fun Q&A questions here for
Awesome.
you, just to get us started here. What's one lesson you've learned recently that has changed your perspective on life?
Oh, wow. Great question. Let's start with being humble, right? Not being too arrogant, not being a negative person, right? I was negative a lot. And the lesson that I learned was being negative, it just creates an environment that you do not want to have. And now that I've switched my mindset to a positive mindset, all these good things are happening to me and you, right? So it was a learning curve for me, and I definitely succumbed to that negativity. And now I'm on a positive mindset, and I'm headed for a good road ahead. So
Definitely one of those things where it's like you are what you attract, right?
Exactly,
So like,
yes.
if you're in a negative mindset, you're only going to attract negative things. Misery loves company, so you're going to want to bring people down with you.
Exactly.
And stuff like that. But if you got that positive mindset, you're going to want to bring people up with you and help people find the light, brother.
Exactly. Yeah.
You got a question queued up for me, or?
Absolutely. So what is the key to happiness, do you think?
Oh, terrific question. So pretty much the key to happiness for me is, positive mindset for sure. Just to piggyback off what you just said, and I know that's a cop-out, but it truly is. Like, you got to have a positive mindset no matter what situation you're going into. If you got a 99% fail rate, well, it's not a fail. It's a lesson.
Exactly.
Losses are lessons. That's the biggest point that I can get through to you is don't take your losses so hard because they had to happen for a reason, and it's only going to help you get better in the future, having learned from your lessons. But that's another thing. Always make sure that you're learning from your lessons. Don't make the same mistake twice. And key to happiness is a positive mindset and surrounding yourself with people that you feel like you want to become one day. They say that if you surround yourself with 5 millionaires, you're gonna become the 6th. But if you surround yourself with 5 drug addicts, you're gonna become the 6th. So it is who you surround yourself with, and always have, like I said, that mindset.
Absolutely, and I agree with you 100% on that.
I got another question here for you. What habit or routine keeps you productive throughout the day?
Great question. So when I wake up, I usually wake up around 5 or 6. I wake up, pray. I have a little Buddha that I pray to. Yeah, it's a little Buddha that I pray to, and it's pretty awesome. He's definitely been doing me wonders. Yeah, after that, I'll take a shower, and when I'm in the shower, I'll pray again, and I shake my hands like this, and I tell myself, what do I want to accomplish today, right? So now that I'm going to school every day, and now that I got homework to do, it's right in the morning is when I plan out my day and how I'm gonna do that. So I go to school. I get my work done. If I have homework, as soon as I get home, I'll complete all that. I'll talk to some other people, plan out this podcast, episodes, and it's just to keep me productive, right? And so I'm not sitting around in my room rotting away, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So over time, it creates a nice routine. And going to the gym is probably one of the best things that's ever happened to me. So I would definitely suggest that for any of you guys out there that are, don't want to, just do it. Just do it. Don't don't be not confident about showing off, like a lot of people respect you for going to the gym, and like it's not only the gym, it's going by your word, right? To get back on topic, because I'm kind of going a little off topic.
It's okay.
Let me ask you a question here.
Sure, yeah.
So what's a lesson that you think you learned that was hard?
The biggest lesson that I learned within the last year is that no matter how hard you try, you can't change someone. They have to want to change themselves. And, if whether it be in friendship or relationship or whatever, if you can put as much effort in as you want for something to change, but if they don't want to change, then they're not going to. And you have to accept that fact and accept the fact that you put everything that you could into something and it didn't work out, and that you can take away from it and still be functioning and still be happy. And just because it didn't work out in one way doesn't mean that it won't in another. And yeah, that's the biggest lesson that I had to learn, was you are only in control of yourself. And no matter how much you lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. That's the hardest lesson that I've had to learn
That
in
hits
the past
home.
year. Great questions. I have to hit the bathroom, so let's hit the bathroom and we'll be right back.
Absolutely.
And we're back. So last topic was the hardest thing that I had to learn. Just to piggyback off that self-growth is important as well. If something doesn't work out, you can't just blame it on the other person. You have to look within yourself and understand that it's a 50-50 street. Like I said, whether it be friendship, relationship, whatever, you have to look at it critically. And, it's hard sometimes for us to look at it through a third person and see, well, this is where you went wrong, this is where they went wrong. It's easy to just blame the entire thing on the other person.
Yeah, you got to look deep within yourself.
Yeah, that's the only way you're truly going to grow. And so that's a great question. I got more of just like a funny, goofy one. What's the worst fashion trend that you've ever followed?
The worst fashion trend that I've ever followed was probably the fanny pack.
Oh, are we talking fanny pack right now?
Yeah, the fanny.
Right above the
yeah,
crotch
not
area,
the side pack.
the
Not
side
yeah,
bag?
not the side bag, but the fanny.
You went right in front of your
Yeah.
in front of your junk, eh?
Yeah.
What sparked that? What
Honestly, I was in Calgary and I just seen a bunch of people at school rocking them, and I'm like, you know what? That kind of looks pretty cool. So I went to Winners across the.
Hell no, it doesn't. It does not look cool at all.
Yeah, I still remember that fanny pack. Yeah, it was a blue Herschel, and yeah, it's definitely funny. After that, I switched over to side bags, which was more fashionable in a sense that it looks better. But let me switch the topic over here, and let's start with, do you think social media has more of a positive impact or a negative impact on society?
On society today,
Yeah.
the cop-out answer is that it has a negative impact on society. And while that is true, I would like to spin it and say that it has a positive impact, because the amount of information that is available to us now is exponentially bigger than when our parents were around, or like our age, or even grandparents. Like when you wanted to know something, you had to go to the library, or you had to know somebody that knew something about it, that could tell you something about it, and then that their word is only good as their word, so people could be spewing bullshit to you all the time, and you have no idea, and you're just taking it as fact. Whereas when I was 19 and I lived with my grandpa, I was smelling myself a little bit, and he humbled me a few times because he had Google Assistant set up, and we'd be at the table, and I'd spew off some bullshit fact, and he'd be like, "Really? Hey Google," and he'd ask Google, and if I got it right, he'd just laugh, and if I got it wrong, I'd be getting the third degree, and so and I guess that's just internet, but social media, I would say, has had a negative impact on society, just because it shows extremes, to every degree. And so like these women that are extremely, you know, they go through extreme surgeries and stuff like that to make themselves look a certain way. And these girls are thinking that that's how they have to look, and if they don't look like that, then there's something wrong with them and shit like that. Or these guys, you know, if we don't look like monsters in the gym, jacked up, even though all those guys are juiced to the gills, it makes us feel inferior as men when we're not. Or all these business mogul turned influencers on like Andrew Tate and all those guys make you feel like, oh, if you're not driving around in a Ferrari or you're not wearing suits every day, that you're inferior as a man. And that's just not true. Like, it's always good to strive to be something more. It's always good to have that hunger, but you have to be appreciative for what you have in front of you, and you have to be appreciative for what you can control in your environment, because, you know, at the end of the day, not everybody is going to be rich. Not everybody is going to be successful, famous, this, that, and whatever. We still need people to stock shelves. We still need people to ring our groceries in at the registers, even though those are becoming a thing of the past. Self-checkouts, and if you want to get on that topic, I mean, what the hell am I doing working at the damn grocery store? Spending money on groceries just to work at the damn grocery store? Are you kidding me? I was 15 years old. I got a job at Superstore swinging groceries, you know? And now, what? I got to get off work after work and go grab a few things from the grocery store, and I got to go and scan them all my fucking self? You wonder why people are stealing. Like, come on. Like,
100%.
Give these kids their jobs back, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, this world is becoming so technologically advanced, and it's a good thing, and whether it is a good thing or not, it's happening, and you want to get ahead of it. You want to be on the curve or ahead of the curve, or else you're going to get lost in it.
Absolutely.
And you're going to be behind the times, right? So you got these great questions for me, and I just got these off kilter freaking.
No worries. Every question's a great question, honestly. No, every question's a great question, honestly.
If you had to fight one animal to the death, but if you win, you become that animal. Which animal?
Definitely a kangaroo.
A kangaroo.
A kangaroo, yeah.
Have you seen those things, man?
Yeah, they're definitely some beasts,
man. They look like inmates, bro. They're huge, man. Yeah. And they oh man, just when they grab a hold of you, like, you seen those ones trying to drown the dogs, bro? That's what they do. They stand in the middle of a river and they try and coax people in to save them or whatever, and then they'll grab you and try and drown you, man. Like, these are wild.
Yeah, they're definitely smart. But if I were to fight one, that would be a kangaroo. Yeah, they're definitely a funny creature, but also scary at the same time because they're so muscly, man, and they jump around, and it's just like, yikes. And let me go off that question. What would you...
if I could fight any animal to the death, but if I win, I'd become that animal?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know a lot of animals that I can take, like, realistically speaking here. Like, I don't know.
Lion, tiger.
I couldn't take any of those animals, man.
Yeah.
Shit, I don't know. If I caught a bull. Maybe if I caught a bull off guard or something, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a fight just with fists. A dog.
A dog.
I don't got the heart to kill too many animals. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I like hunting and whatnot. Like, shout out to my stepdad. He's a hunter, and he drops some pretty nice animals, and we get some pretty good eats out of it. But
well, shout out to him for that.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that I could take any animal one-on-one. I'm pretty big, but I'm pretty scared when it comes to wild animals. I don't fuck with wild animals like that.
No, I appreciate the honesty. Yeah. So let's talk a little about philosophy and ethics.
Sure.
So, if you can change one law or rule in society, what would it be?
Oh, one law or rule in society. The right to defend yourself and your home. Like, I feel maybe not to the extent that, like, the States has it, where we can have guns in our houses and stuff like that, because I think that would cause a lot of needless death. But if somebody's trying to break into your house and they successfully break in and you turn the tide and you beat the dog crap out of them with a bat, or you stab them, or you incapacitate them until the authorities arrive, I don't think that they should be able to charge you with assault for that, you know? Like, I feel like you should have a right to defend your property. At the end of the day, like, I worked for this. It's mine. I own it. I pay for it. Why should somebody else be able to come in and essentially rob me blind, and I can't defend myself? Because if I do, I have a chance of being prosecuted. I think that's bull crap. I think we should be able to defend ourselves. I think that we should follow the states in that innocent until proven guilty. Because in Canada, it's guilty until you're proven innocent, and I don't agree with that. I feel like, you know, we should be given the benefit of the doubt as stand-up citizens, you know?
Yeah, especially...
There's a difference if it's a known felon who has 6 felonies and has committed them. Maybe, you know, odds are he's not telling the truth. But if I got no felonies, if I got no convictions, if I haven't even been sniffed at by the cops, maybe you just take my word, because I'm not doing anything wrong. You know what
absolutely.
I mean?
Yeah, and like it's definitely funny to me that, like, yeah, like, to go off what you said, like, if somebody were to break into your place, like, are you just supposed to just stand there and watch them take all your stuff?
Right?
Like, it's just like, no, like, you should be able to defend your place, you know, get them the hell out of there and do whatever's best for you and your family, right? And that, because that's your home, your safe space at the end of the day. You don't want it to be invaded, right? So it's definitely a great
100%.
answer that you had, so I appreciate that.
100%. All right, let's do one more question each.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you could give yourself advice 5 years ago, what would it be, knowing what you know now?
Well, it would definitely be to finish my school, right? Finish my school right off the hop, get my learners, listen to my mom. Yeah, listen to the role models I had. It would also be to properly plan out 5 years ahead of my life, because I didn't have that opportunity when I was younger, because I was so engaged in being a bad kid or partying or, you know, having fun as a kid. So it's definitely would be nice to have the advice I have now 5-6 years ago, right? So, and to go off your question there, what about yourself?
Go back to school. You know, find your passion. Don't stay stagnant in what you're doing right now. COVID's bullshit. Don't listen to the media. It really wasn't any worse than the cold. You know, be more proactive. Do something. You know, 20-year-old me was sitting in my grandparents' basement playing video games, riding out this COVID wave, you know, and wasn't really doing anything. But yeah, definitely just do something. Find something to do.
Absolutely. And yeah, like, you know, to say off that, you know, I see, you know, you're doing very well for yourself, right? So, you know, you doing that is definitely a big step for you. And, you know,
I swear to you, you know, it only happened within this last, I want to say, year, you know, maybe even 2. Last September, I guess 2 Septembers ago, I decided that I was going to go back to school and take my office administration certificate, because they had it offered through Gabriel Dumont Institute. Shout out to GDI. And I took it because it was free schooling. I got paid $5.50 every 2 weeks, and it was something to do. I had been working at a weed store for 2 years prior to that, and while that's great, it's definitely not a career. And I didn't know what my next steps were going to be in terms of life. And so my then fiance and I talked about it, and I just decided that, you know, it was probably best for me to go back to school and find a job that was like an admin job afterwards. And, you know, I did really well in school. I was helping a lot of kids, or not even kids, I was helping adults, you know, just because I was maybe a little bit more ahead than the rest of them at like Microsoft and stuff like that, just because I'm young and I grew up around that kind of stuff, and some of them didn't. So it was nice to help. Also, if you're in an office admin class right now and you're listening to this, do your fucking typing. Learn how to type correctly, because it comes in handy in the real world, especially when you're super busy and you need to type fast. Typing properly, minimizing mistakes. It's awesome. But yeah, I graduated in June of last year. On my graduation day, I got a call from my now manager asking if we could set up a time for an interview for SGI. And yeah, I had an interview with my manager, and she really liked me, and she said at the end of the interview that she was gonna get back to me in a couple of days, and it wasn't 3 hours that she called me back and said, yeah, we're gonna move forward with you, and we'd like to extend you a conditional offer. And then I had to go through getting my criminal record and everything like that all checked out, and I've been there since July 31st of last year. It's been really nice. I love the people I work with. The culture there is so diverse, and everybody's so welcoming. They all got a smile on their faces, and the work that I do it's good experience for later on in life,
Exactly. So to end it off with the last question here, would you like to do it, or would you want me to?
If you got a question queued up here.
Absolutely. Okay, well let's throw a completely off-topic question.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your dream travel destination and why?
Oh. All right. Dream travel destination would definitely have to be. I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but Texas, man.
Texas.
Oh
wow.
I want to go there so bad, and me and my cousin, shout out Connor, me and my cousin are gonna be going there probably in the summertime to check out Kill Tony at the Mothership, which is Joe Rogan's thing there in Austin.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I've always loved Texas. I love the hot weather and everything like that, and eventually, if everything goes good in my life, I'd want to move down there one day. So definitely.
It's the Texas barbecue, eh?
Yeah, right. The barbecue is the best.
He's rubbing his stomach too. He's like, oh yeah.
Everything about Texas, everything's bigger in Texas.
That's awesome.
It's beautiful. How about you? What's your favorite? What would be your dream vacation destination?
I definitely have a few, but the main one would be Thailand because of the views, right?
Yeah,
views, the
sure,
boat.
Just the views, eh?
No, it's just the views. Honestly, like the water is beautiful, the rocks, the mountains, like just being able to go in a boat and sitting in there with my soulmate or somebody and
Lady boy.
Yeah. No. That's what I get pressed about that all the time. They're like, "Why do you want to go to Thailand?"
I got a buddy.
It's the vibe.
I got a buddy. I'm not naming names.
No, yeah, absolutely.
I got a buddy that was like, we should go to Thailand, and I was like, why? And he was like, well, you know what happens in Bangkok stays in Bangkok.
Oh my gosh. My buddy, I'm not gonna say names, but I hung out with him that one time, and he's just like on the phone, and he's like telling me, where do you want to go? And I'm like, Thailand. And right away he was like, he said that, and it was just like, no man, like I want to go there to vibe, dude. But this has definitely been a great podcast, and
man, we touched on some serious topics and on some not so serious topics. I hope that people like it as much as I like doing it, and even if they don't, whatever. We're gonna have probably a more structured podcast next time.
Yeah,
but we were kind of just testing the waters here, just to see what we had here, and give the people a little bit of information about ourselves, and hopefully we can start something here and really make a difference in Regina and wherever.
Exactly.
So do you want to come and record my phone here real quick so we can do the draw here?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, you're gonna need your phone, my friend. All right, so I have everybody on here that had liked, shared everything. So we're going to go through the people's names real quick, just to make sure we didn't miss anybody. So Amanda Egan, Brooklyn Leader, Carla Musi, Charlene Stiles, Chase Pelche Ishapi, Deb Donna, Dylan Butz, Dusty Manitopias, Jay Renee, James Jarrett, Jenny Bean, Kayla LaValle, May Leader, Michelle Donda, Nicholas Anthony Donda, Nicholas Nicholson, Taylor Lang, and Tim Ebenall. All right, we're going to do this spin real quick. You got it on recording?
I do.
Perfect. And the winner is... Brooklyn Leader.
Brooklyn Leader is the winner of the $150 gift card giveaway.
Perfect. All right. I'll reach out to you, Brooklyn, and we will see you next time on the Strive to Thrive podcast. This is your host, Chase Hillier, signing out.
Awesome. Signing out with your co-host, Tyson Shepard.